In the Spanish city of Melilla, I think, there is a border fight underway that you might not have heard of.
Yeah, that's where Spain meets Morocco, and migrants desperate for asylum in the European Union are risking their lives for a better life. Seth Doan is there.
In this ancient city of Melilla, the Spanish flag flies high. Folk songs from Andalusia spill into the streets and cafes. One border here is the Mediterranean, but the other, Morocco.
You don't think of Africa and the EU as having a land border, but that's what this is.
Just across the fence is Morocco. That makes Melilla and the other nearby Spanish enclave of Ceuta tantalizing destinations for migrants. From the Mediterranean, we could watch the Moroccans patrolling the other side of the border.
What do you see while you're out here?
We see the difference between the third world and the industrialized world, First Officer Jose Farron told us. You see a country with little hope. They don't have food or a future. And separated by a very thin line, a world like Europe that has future democracy and liberty. Spain was the top gateway to Europe for migrants last year, with more than 56,000 arrivals, more than double the number from the year before.
This fence, which is actually 3 separate fences, traces the border of Melilla. It runs about 7 miles long and has recently been fortified, made higher and much harder to climb. There are motion sensors, spotlights, and cameras along the perimeter here.
Spain's Border Patrol officers showed us the high-tech cameras that track body heat at their command center. These moving dots are actually lines of migrants traversing the Moroccan forest, waiting for the right time to cross. At the border, they now check every car. Tighter controls have pushed smugglers to be more inventive. These boys were sewn into hollowed-out mattresses to be transported across the border. Others have been wedged into the tightest places, including dashboards. Francisco Maldonado showed us how they search for stowaways.
So he's saying that they put this detector on the car, and if someone is hiding inside, it'll detect a heartbeat. Now he's showing me where that shows up here on the screen. Pass, green, is okay.
Karai Heredin, a Palestinian, told us he fled from Gaza.
What did you hear about Melilla?
If you reach that, if you will arrive there, it means you are safe.
He says he snuck across the border and was not stopped, but met others at this migrant center who were not so lucky.
And they arrived hair broken, legs, hands.
Injured from that process of trying to climb the wall.
I saw them.
Some who cross have the wounds to prove it. Morocco claims it stopped nearly 70,000 crossing attempts by illegal migrants in the first 9 months of 2018. We heard stories of bribery and beatings in the quest to make it to Europe. Smugglers are arrested and jailed, while migrants who make it through can apply for asylum. We don't solve the asylum problem here, Carlos Montero told us. We move them to the mainland as the asylum process is pending. Montero runs this reception center, which was built for about 700 migrants. On the day we visited, it was holding roughly double that number.
Is it hard to keep up with the need?
Yes, it's complicated, he told us. The burden is big. We saw a school and a storage room filled with new clothes, part of the $25 million the European Union has given Spain to help with migrants.
On some level, doesn't all of this encourage people to come?
No, he answered. They want to search for a better life in Europe. Some years ago, the conditions here in these centers were not like this, and the immigrants kept on arriving.
What do you think about your future now?
I don't imagine how will be my future, but I'm sure it's better. I'm just looking for respect. R-E-S-P-E-C-T, that's it. Respect me as a human, and I will do all my best to be a good human.
Seth Doan, CBS News, Melilla, Spain.